before 43 became your main thing, you spent close to 20 years in creative work, but inside of the church, leading worship, running creative teams, all of that. So for those that might not know that chapter, what did that work mean to you? And when did you first kind of start to sense that there might be something more for you out there outside of the walls of the church, if you will?
Outside of the walls of the church, I mean, that's a loaded question, right? Because it's like, are we talking about the church, the building? Or are we talking about the church, the people? And
I think in the ministry sense.
In ministry, yeah. So we kind of have to go back. I can't really do anything in small, short stories, which is why Lauren always leaves when I call.
That's why you're here.
I grew up in a family that really pushed creative, like let me explore my creativity, right? My dad was a cop, so very black and white. My mom was a math teacher. Even though she was a feeler, she was still very black and white. Like on the Enneagram, she's a 9 or a 1 or a 9-wing 1 or a 1-wing 9. You can relate to that.
Yes.
But in that, like, still a lot of black and white, like, numbers equal numbers, right?
Right.
When you're a cop, it's right or wrong. Like there's a lot of that. And then they've got this artist kid who sees all the shades of gray, not just 50 shades of gray. It's like all the shades and all the colors and all the different things. And so, but they let me explore that a lot.
Yeah,
and so,
that's cool.
They got me in piano lessons early. It's nerdy, but I when I got into middle school and got into school band, like I started playing the trombone, because my favorite character from Star Trek played the trombone.
Okay.
So we're just letting it all hang out.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
My mom said she didn't know that until just like a month or two ago. She's like, I didn't know that. I'm like, oh yeah, totally, 100%.
That's wild.
Yeah. Anyway, but they let me explore all that. I always drew. I always colored. I think I was a pretty decent artist. And had my extended family always built into that as well. And so, much like you, we did the high school youth band thing at church. And so that kind of sparked my love for playing music live in front of people. And so I started learning how to play bass guitar and
the bass. Started
on the bass. I broke this finger playing baseball in high school. And so you zoom in, you can see it hitch a little bit. It's kind of weird. So I never thought I'd play real guitar. But so fast forward through high school, I'm playing bass and singing and doing all that. And, just exploring what creativity meant. And then at 16, 17, I felt a call to ministry. Didn't know what that meant. So
none of us really do when that happens.
None of us really do even afterwards.
Yeah, I was like, okay.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
But so I leaned into it, but I still had this huge love for art. And so my dad is a photographer, and so I had learned a lot from that. And I was doing
I don't think I knew that.
Independent study photography classes at my high school. The year I moved into our high school, it was a brand new school that year. And so the art lab had a Macintosh iMac for everybody in the department. So by the time I graduated high school, I had enough art classes that I could have gone in with an art minor to college.
Oh, wow.
And so I actually went to school a declared art major because I'm like, I'm supposed to do ministry, but I don't know what that means.
Right. You always got to have the backup plan because it's kind of music related. What are we doing here?
Yeah. What's the joke? Like, what are you going to do with an art degree? Deliver pizzas.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, so like that's kind of what I thought I was getting into. And so, but I went to school a declared art major, and was going to do a ministry minor, because I figured, practical skills. Does that mean I work for the church? I really didn't want to be the guy that was working at a church. Like that was just not my plan for when you say ministry. I always was like, well, let's just figure out something else to do. I was less than a semester into the art program and realized that the department hated me. I hated the department.
They had it out for me.
I know as you were doing your prep and you were reading me your things, you're like, so you went to school a declared art major. That did not go well. No, it did not.
Exactly.
And so, and what it really boiled down to was, I've never been comfortable. I had an art teacher in high school that would like reach over my shoulder and like draw on what I was doing, and I would hate it. It just made me so mad.
Yeah.
And so I go to college and I'm getting told what is art and what is not art. And so if you don't know me, I don't do well with that. And I usually tend to speak my mind when I don't do well with something. And so I let everybody know, but it got to the point where like one particular professor kind of killed my like interest in it.
Just didn't like it anymore.
Yeah. And like I would have friends after class coming to me and going like, what did you do to make them so mad? Like he's making you stand up and like give a dissertation on why you think what you did was art.
Oh, wow.
This is like a color theory class. It's not like it's anything.
Not anything deep or.
No. And it's not like, I'm not like Van Gogh or painting a Rembrandt or something. Like it's just color theory, bro. Like what in the world? So anyway, that kind of killed it for me. And so I walked away from it, but at the same time, like still had all this like pent up creative energy that I was learning and doing. And so I realized as well, like if I switched my major to Christian ministries and got a ministry degree, I would graduate a semester early. So I'm like,
there's some practical
save the money. So that's kind of why I landed that's why I landed practically in that major.
Yeah.
It really did serve me well. In
what I hear though is I hear that you have this, I'll call it a lifelong journey, right?
Sure.
A creative kid doing this thing, get to school, art major, like all this stuff, and then there's this moment, right? Where it's like, whether it's a certain professor, multiple professors, or just the sheer experience itself,
right.
You kind of lose the love of that. Talk to me a little bit about like what that was like from an emotional standpoint. Like what were you feeling when all of a sudden it was like everything that I thought about where I was headed, even though ministry was there and kind of just tucked behind, that was like probably the first time that art kind of just fell out.
Yeah. Well, are you ready for a therapy session?
Let's go, baby.
I honestly, I don't know that I've ever thought about it like that before in that context. Like there have definitely been those like identity driven changes throughout my life. But like that was kind of one of those ones where it was like, well, you're telling me here what I'm doing is not art.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go do whatever I want anyway.
Yeah.
Like whether I graduate with your degree and, kowtow to what you're saying, which I've also never been good at.
Sure.
You could have my mom and dad on the podcast at some point and they could tell you some stories.
Tell me more about,
but like for me, that one there was kind of a freeing moment in that because of some of the like release. Like I could still draw, I can still paint, I can still create stuff. I was terrible at clay.
Oh yeah.
Like
that was never good.
But I can build stuff with wood. But when you talk about doing clay, like I am not a ceramics person. Anyway, but the where it all ran down though for me, I think in that time was like, well, I guess if I'm just gonna not do that piece anymore, then I'm gonna turn it around and find other ways to be creative. And so I walked away from it. I mean, I probably, if you were to go back through like all my journals and notepads and drawing pads and all that kind of stuff, that's probably the timeline of when that kind of left. But I was playing music.
Yeah.
And so that's really when like, oh, well, like, let me put all my creative juices into this.
Yeah.
And so I really, at that point, I was playing in a couple of bands in college already, doing gigs and playing for people and like fill-in sessions. I did some studio work when I was in college and just absolutely loved
all that.
That
was the best.
You know those, right?
That was the best.
And so when I'm getting ready to graduate, I'd just gotten married, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
And
I'm about to have a wife. What do I do for work?
Well, yeah, I guess that's true. I was just getting ready to get married. And I'm like, and then I only have one semester left in school because I'm graduating early. Like, what am I going to do with my life?
Yeah.
And at that time, I said, I knew I was going to do something in ministry. I just didn't know what that meant. And then I was in a college small group that was being led by a guy who was a like the young adult pastor at one of the churches in town.
Sure.
Transferred out of that role into being an executive director for Youth for Christ. And so he's like, hey, I'm doing this and we're starting these new clubs. Why don't you come do one of those? It's a full-time job. You have to do some fundraising and blah, blah, blah. And so at that point, I was like, cool, I don't have to work in a church. I can work with my family, but I can still do ministry. I realized I was a terrible youth pastor.
No.
I was not, like, youth was not my thing.